Obviously, we're not playing on the PTB. I looked at it, though. I took a look at it. I went on my PC, logged into the PTB. I did not check out like any match. I didn't play any matches. I didn't really, pay much attention to any of the perks or anything. I was more interested in looking at the Prestige rework. Honestly, that's the thing about the mid-chapter update I'm the most excited about is the Prestige rework. So we're going to take a minute. We're going to talk about that before we start getting into any matches or anything. Okay, so according to the patch notes, it says right at the very top of the progression and prestige system being reworked. It says important. No existing perks, items, or cosmetics will be lost if they are already unlocked in a character, even if having them would contradict the rules of the new system. So if you've gone through and you have unlocked all the any character's teachable perks, they will still be unlocked in this new system. They will not take away any character's teachables if you have not leveled them up past like 40 or so. If you've already unlocked, let's say, for example, Hattie. I stopped leveling her up at 40 when I got the last of her teachables unlocked. I will not lose any of those under the new system, and that's important because of how they've reworked the new system. It also notes that prestiging no longer removes any items, add-ons, offerings, perks, or perk slots. That's something they mentioned in a couple of the streams, the dev streams. They also mentioned that teachable perks have been removed from the Blood Web, and that makes sense because of how they change things. They go on to say, okay, so let's say you're going through the Blood Web. So right now, like I've got several characters at 40. If I were to say level up, we'll continue to use Hattie for an example. Obviously, I would go through this Blood Web. If I finished this Blood Web, I would be pushed to 41. If I go through that Blood Web, I would be pushed to 42, etc., etc. At 50, in the old system, once you hit 50, you would be given the option to Prestige. For example, looking at like Felix here. Felix is a perfect example. I have the option of prestiging Mr. Felix here. Right there, see, there's the option to prestige right now. But doing so, I would lose everything. In this case, as soon as you hit, when you go through level 50 on your Blood Web, you will not progress onto like level 51 Blood Web. Instead, it will give you, before you can go from 50 to 51, it will give you like a little icon. And you have to spend 50,000 blood points to prestige and move up to your level 51 in the Blood Web. And technically, it doesn't even go to 51. It goes back to like it takes it as if you had just prestige, or if you were just starting a new character. It sets you back on like a level 1 Blood Web, and there, with the again the same, not as many things in the Blood Web like you would get with. I don't think I have any. No, I don't have any characters on here that are level 1, so I can't show. But, you get the smaller Blood Webs for, until like 10, 15, somewhere right around in there. So you get the smaller Blood Webs even after you've done the Prestige. Characters can now each be Prestige up to 100 times. So someone who has been super, super fucking dedicated can reach like Prestige level 100, which is a ridiculous number. And hopefully they start offering rewards for that, but we'll get back to that in a minute. Okay, so prestiging a character has the following rewards. At Prestige 1, after you've gone through 50 Blood Webs and are progressing on to level Blood Web number 51, the character's perks are immediately unlocked for use on all other killers or survivors, depending on which role you're playing, at Tier 1. So say, for example, we'll go back to Hattie here. We'll go back to Hattie. So Hattie's 3 teachable perks are... wrong one. Are... Inner Focus, Residual Manifest, and Overzealous. So once I prestige her once, all 3 perks will be unlocked and on Tier 1 on all the other characters. I don't have to go through the Blood Webs to unlock them, none of that. They will just be there. So if I were to suddenly get like a new survivor, let's say I get the next survivor after Hattie, just for the sake of argument, his name is Larry. I buy Larry. I get Larry going on day 1. he immediately has Hattie's perks at tier 1. And same with all these other guys. If I had not yet gotten Hattie's perks on them, they would all be in there available to use at tier 1. And if I continue to level up Hattie, if I go through another 50 blood webs, and I hit Prestige 2, then that unlocks all of her perks, immediately unlocked for use on all other killers or survivors, depending on role you're playing, at tier 2. And that just goes on. At Prestige 3, all perks are unlocked for use on all other characters at tier 3. It saves so much time, because before, of course, the old way we had to do it was we had to go through the blood webs, get a character to 40, and at 40, you would have possibly all the characters' teachable perks unlocked if you gone through the blood webs properly, or correctly, I should say. And then you'd have to take the time to, like, let's say again with Hattie's perks, after I gotten Hattie's perks all unlocked and teachable, I'd then have to go back through, now I need to level up Jonah. And, but he doesn't have Hattie's perks, so I've got to keep going through his blood webs to find, Hattie's perks, etc. You don't have to do that no more. It's boom, you go through 150 blood webs on one character, bang, all of their perks are unlocked on all the other characters at tier 3. Huge time saver. That reduces the grind by so much. And as someone who has kind of prided themselves, and this is the way I've been playing the game for like the past, I want to say, 1.5 to 2 years, is getting perks unlocked and at tier 3 on different characters. I've got 18, almost 19 characters now because of I spent a lot of points on Neo recently. 18, almost 19 characters have all the survivor perks unlocked in that tier 3. Anyway, back to the prestige levels. If you continue going up to a character, prestige level 4 through 6 will unlock the standard bloodied cosmetic items, which we used to get for being prestige, which I only have on Claudette. Let's bring that up right now. And we'll actually be coming back to look at Claudette here in a few minutes, because she's going to be a perfect example of something we're going to be talking about here in a minute. Where is... Do I... Oh, they don't... That's right, they don't have that. Well, let's see. Where is... I don't want to spend... Well, we won't spend a whole lot there. There it is. Like the bloody Claudette. We've all familiar with the bloody cosmetics that we got for prestiging. Claudette used to be a huge one to try and get back in the day because of how much she blended it into shit. See, this is the rewards for, hitting Prestige 3. Now it's going to be Prestige 4 through 6. At Prestige 7 through 9, you will receive perk charms for the character's perks. So, say, for example, let's, again, go back to Hattie. Hattie will keep being one of our examples that we'll probably be using. So, for example, Tier 7 Prestige, we would get, like, a charm for Inner Focus. At 8 Prestige, we would get a charm for Residual Manifest. And, Prestige 9, we'd get Overzealous, etc., etc. So, for the people who like the charms, that'd be kind of cool. But circling back to, like I just mentioned, that's one of the things I've been doing for the past, 1.5, 2 years, possibly even longer, is getting all these perks unlocked on so many characters. What they're doing is existing players that have their characters granted prestige level, or existing players will have their characters granted prestige levels in the new system based on the following. If the character has 70 or more perks unlocked, counting each tier of a perk separately, it will give you prestige levels based on that. So, okay, and also 1 level per existing prestige level, so a maximum of 3. So say, for example, Claudette here, if I had just prestige her and I had no other perks unlocked, she would get 3 levels prestige just for that. And back to the all the 70 perks. So of course, we've got 107 perks, I believe. I think that is correct. 107 survivor perks. Multiply that by 3 for each tier, of course, because there's 3 tiers of perks. So we're looking at, I believe, 321 survivor tiers altogether in perks. So you will get 6 levels of prestige for having all the survivor perks unlocked and at tier 3 on your character. So going back to the Claudette example here, Claudette, because I have her at P3 already, at Prestige 3 already, will get 3 Prestige levels. And then because I have all the survivor perks unlocked and at tier 3 on her, she will get another 6 levels. So Claudette here will be Prestige level 9. Killers, they have, I want to say 95 or 97 perks. I don't remember what. I looked all this up earlier today. I don't remember the specific number, but the most a killer can get for having perks on it, because there's fewer killers than there are survivors, so fewer killer perks than survivor perks. The most a killer is going to get for having all their perks unlocked and at tier 3 is 5 levels. So there's going to be a handful of my killers that are going to get about 5 levels Prestige. There might be a few that get 4, a couple of them are going to get 3. Because there's just some killers I just stopped putting blood points into because I just didn't find the gameplay fun. Let's switch over to Traps. Trapper is a perfect example. I never Prestige 3'd any of my killers, not a single one of them. But Trapper, I've got all the perks unlocked and at tier 3. So when time comes around, when the mid-chapter update publishes, he will be at like Prestige 5. And all of his perks will be unlocked and at tier 3 on every other killer from now on. Even if it's a new killer. Like, let's say the next new killer we get is, just for the sake of argument, let's say the next new killer we get is Jason from Friday the 13th. When the Jason comes into the game, boom, he's got all the Trapper's perks in at tier 3 because I've already got Trapper leveled up past the Prestige 3. So I was really happy to see that that's how they're doing this. I think that's very fair, and that's going to reduce the grind ridiculous amounts. I mean, the grind right now is so enormous to go through all these damn perks, especially on the survivor side. Like I said, it's like 321, I believe, survivor perks for tier 3s. If you count them at tier 3. I mean, how many blood webs is that? That's just insane.